In this eye-opening video, I'm going to delve into the fascinating world of Hollywood versus reality, how Western movies faked the fast draw duel.
Gunsmoke, starring James Arness.
Most actors are not single-action revolver experts. So what did a director do when he had to work with an actor that had some gun skills, but really didn't have the skill to make a fast draw look really fast and real? I'm going to take you on a journey through classic Western movie history, debunking the illusions created by Hollywood's talented filmmakers and actors. I'll reveal the meticulous planning and incredible behind-the-scenes techniques employed to bring these cowboy fast draw dual gunfighting sequences to life. And one more thing. Have you ever wondered if there were any single-action army race guns used in the Western movies? Well, I'm going to show you one example of one, and I'm also going to show you how to spot a race gun in a movie. So if you watch my channel, you know I know how to fast draw. I also know how to fan. But what happens if the main actor in a movie, or a supporting actor, has to be in a scene of fast draw and they're not an expert? How does the director work with that? Well, that's what we're going to get into right now. I'm going to set up a target, and I'm not going to shoot it with live ammunition today. I'm not shooting any live ammo, all blanks, just like a movie. And I'm going to set up the target to act off of it, and we'll show you how there's a couple of different ways that could be filmed with an actor with less than perfect gun handling skills. Okay, we set up my opponent here for the mock-up of the Western movie we're going to be shooting. And I have on more of a traditional holster. It's not a fast draw holster. It doesn't have the finger clearances. It's not offset. It's not tied down. So it's much harder to draw fast out of this holster. In fact, you can't draw really fast out of this holster. And we're going to say that the scene calls for a thumbing draw. So instead of fanning, which I could fan this pretty quickly with this kind of holster, it calls for a thumbing draw scene, and I can't thumb this very fast. So I'm going to show you, if he didn't edit it, it'd look about like this. Okay, really, really slow. I can't cock this in the holster. So how can they fix that? Well, here's one way. They can cut away from the draw as it begins, right there, like that. They can cut away, and then they can come back in for the second half of the draw, thumbing it. Okay, so that would be two segments, and they make it look like one. I'm going to do that right now. One more time, second half. Now edited together, it'll look like this. Okay, so you can see how by cutting away from the draw and then back to it, you can tighten up the action. You can take away that part that's inefficient and slow and just cut out the slow part, and it looks fast, it looks good. And you see that in a lot of Western movies. Now I'm going to show you another technique that they use. Okay, about that question I posed, did they ever use single action army race guns in Western movies? I'll tell you in a minute. Hang in there. Okay, now I'm going to show you another technique that's used to make the actor look more skilled and impressive than he is and make the gunfight look better. I'm going to thumb this draw out of the holster for a thumbing draw, and I'm no good at the thumbing draw, and the reason why is because I do shoot live ammunition and fast draw, something I don't recommend, but I always use the fanning method because the thumbing method is very dangerous with live ammunition. So I don't learn it, I don't practice it, I don't want to do it accidentally, so I'm really, really raw in the thumbing draw. So I'm going to do my best thumb draw on here, and then I'm going to show you how they can speed it up and it'll look real and it won't look like it's fast motion. All right, here we go. Not real fast. I'll do another one. That's about as fast as I can do it. And that's not very fast. Now, Watch what happens when I speed that up just 10 to 15%. Okay, so you can see that when it's sped up just 10 to 15%, maybe even up to 20%, the human eye can't pick that up. Most people can't see that. And they do that a lot in Western movies. You don't realize it. If the actor's pretty good, he can do a complete draw. A lot of times they'll take that shot and then they'll speed it up. There wasn't very many actors that were good enough to film that way, but some of them were. Okay, so the next method I'm going to show you is where they just don't show the draw at all. They just suggest that it happened. And there's this clip, Mel Gibson in this, I think it was Maverick, the movie, I think that's what it was. Here's the scene.
You call me a gambler. I want to become an old gambler. You, on the other hand, are a gunfighter. And an exceptional one at that, from what I hear. So if I decided to go up against you, I mean, what chance would I have had? Answer? 0.
And if you watch that, he suggests that his hands are empty by going like this. He's talking, gesturing. And then what you don't see is then they cut away and then he comes up like this. You know, and that's all there is to it. They just don't show the draw. They cut it out. The gun's in his hand and he's like this. And you actually see that quite a bit in movies. And it's funny how our minds just kind of jump there and we just assume he pulled it out of his vest, out of his shoulder holster or something. And it's just camera tricks. So that's another method. So were there any actors that practiced fast draws so much that they didn't need any help from the director and the cameras to make their fast draws look good? There were. Sammy Davis Jr., Jerry Lewis, Clint Eastwood, and Glenn Ford were well known for their fast draw abilities. But a lot of times even their performances were sped up in the editing room because they just wanted to look even better, you know, which I think is unfortunate because a lot of their draws, just without messing with them, were really fast. You know, one of the best performances doing a real clean draw on camera in a movie that appears to be unedited, unmessed with, is Clint Eastwood's draw in High Plains Drifter when he sets the beer mug down on the railing and he fast draws a Colt with a 7.5-inch barrel, which is no small task. It's much harder to draw a long-barreled Colt out of a holster like that. The scene looks like it's not messed with at all. It's not cut away. It doesn't look sped up, but it's really fast.
You still here?
Here's another clip from Arvo Ohala, he was a trainer of the movie stars, and he also was in a lot of scenes. He was shown doing draws. In Gunsmoke, he was the guy that fell down in the opening sequence when Matt Dillon drew on him. He was extremely good with a single action army. And here's a scene of him fast drawing. I think it's a Dragoon. It's a big, heavy revolver. And it's awesome. Watch this.
Wow. You do that again, Mr. Ellis?
Anything for you, Lucy, honey.
Okay, so what about the race guns? Did they ever use single action army race guns in Western movies? Well, I'm going to show you how you can tell. Now, this gun is a stock gun, and I want you to look real closely at the notch in the lead on this gun. That's that part right there. And this is what it looks like on a stock gun. The lead is the groove right here, and the groove is quite small and short. Now I'm going to show you a race gun. This is my single action army race gun. Now look at the groove, the notch and the lead groove on that. See how it's longer? It's a little bit longer. It's hard to see, but it's longer. Now look in this clip. This is Arvo Ohala doing it's like a TV special showing his skills and stuff. And if you freeze frame it right here.
Stay around, it doesn't bind.
Yes, my fingers on the trigger. They come level, I fire.
You can just see there's an extended lead on that gun. So he had a race gun. And I'm sure he wasn't the only one, because look at the scene that I know you guys have all seen here. Clint Eastwood, fistful of dollars, when he went down and took care of the guys making fun of his mule. If I freeze frame it right here and zoom up there, what do you see? there's an extended lead on that revolver. So that gun definitely had some race gun work done on it. It was a fanner. It was a gun he could fan. Now, it didn't have the light springs like mine do, because you can see in the sequence he really has to hit the hammer hard. So it wasn't a total race gun, but it did have race gun notches and leads on it, so it was built to fan. It's kind of interesting. So that's how you tell the difference between a stock gun and a race gun. Now you can check all your Western movies. So why does Hollywood continue to exaggerate the Western duel, the Western gunfight duel? Well, one reason is because the way a real duel with that old equipment, the way it would play out, the draws would be slow. It wouldn't be as theatrically interesting. And really, we watch Western movies to be entertained more than for the realism. So I don't feel bad that they mess with it a little bit to make it more impressive. I think it makes it more interesting. So the next time you watch a Western movie fast draw duel, just remember, it's all an illusion, except for those rare times when it's not. And those rare times when it's not is what makes it fun for me, trying to distinguish the fantasy from the reality.
You'll never handle guns again, Morgan.
Well, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And stay tuned for more gunslinging videos, more true Western history, Hollywood history as it pertains to Western movies, and real gunslinging and shooting.
You too. You're a low-down lying Yankee. Prove it. No authority.
Before you say it.